We're going to do something interesting, which is try to find a portal to the conservative soul. How we're going to do that? Well, we're going to bring on Russ Wellen, who wrote for the Faster Times that he has found it. Okay, I'm very curious about that. Russ, welcome to the Young Turks.
Hi, Cenk. Thanks a lot.
Thank you for coming on. So, what is this portal you speak of?
Well, the portal is actually more a portal from the conservatives into the progressive soul, and it involves the issue of nuclear disarmament, of all things. Usually, when it comes to nuclear disarmament, you think of the progressives as trying to convince conservatives that it's a good idea, but in this case, it's kind of ironic because it's the other way around.
Mm-hmm. How so? I don't see a lot of conservatives going around saying, hey, we really got to get rid of our nukes. But apparently you found a couple. So who is it mainly that's doing this?
Well, first, by way of getting around to that, let me just echo what Patrick Byrne was saying. My thoughts about Obama's initiatives, which he's done so far with the New START Treaty and the Nuclear Posture Review and the Security Conference, I would call them tepid, but directionally correct. Anyway.
All right. Well, I want to get back to that, actually. Let's talk about the conservative guy pushing in who is also directionally correct. And we'll come back to analyzing Obama.
The reason I brought that up is because what's interesting is Obama has done this without any real push on the part of the public. And why is that? Because, as on a lot of issues, the Americans are, as we know, somewhat apathetic, even willfully ignorant. Your audience accepted, of course.
Obviously.
And few issues, that's true of few issues. It's especially true of nuclear disarmament, where much of the public either doesn't care about it, they believe that the Cold War is over and there's no real danger of nuclear war, except for maybe nuclear terrorism, or they actually believe in nuclear deterrence, that they believe it's keeping us safe. So, and nobody believes, conservatives especially, as we all know, are still, many of them still believe in nuclear weapons. So anyway, I'm always trying to think, how do you get through to the public on this issue? So it's as if my answers were the answers to my prayers were answered. I came across an interview on the Center for American Progress website with a man named Tyler Wigg Stevenson. He's a Baptist minister in Nashville, Tennessee. And 3 years ago, he started a project called the Two Futures Project. Basically, this fellow, he believes in the abolition of nuclear weapons. And you're wondering, how did he's an actual evangelical born-again minister. So your next question is, how did a guy like that wind up in favor of disarmament?
Yes, that is my next question. Not usually what happens.
Yes. Well, he's actually, I think he comes from a progressive family who his parents believed in disarmament, and he went to the Yale Divinity School. And when he sought out a spiritual way for himself, he wound up becoming became born again and became an evangelical. And then after a while, his interest in disarmament reasserted itself. So he started presenting it to other evangelical leaders. Mm-hmm. And eventually started to develop some support. So what I wanted to know from him is, aren't conservatives afraid of touching a progressive issue like this? And he said, yes, that's true. Many of them were. But so that's why he's sort of nurturing their disarmament sentiments in a vacuum apart from progressives right now.
Mm-hmm. All right, well, God bless him for, I mean that quite literally, if we're going down that path and trying to pull other evangelicals and perhaps conservatives into realizing, hey, you know what, nuclear war might not work out for people. That might actually be kind of a bad idea.
Yeah.
So I like that he's introducing that revolutionary thought. Now, back to Obama. what he did with the summit with the 47 countries, et cetera. Of course, conservatives said, "Oh, it's like disarmament, unbelievable, et cetera." But are you saying it didn't go far enough?
Well, disarmament community, sure. The people who really believe in the abolition of nuclear weapons, they're not going to be happy. But I'm very reluctant to criticize them personally because, as I said, for one thing, he did this without the public pushing him on it at all. And on another, I look at it this way. I was really disappointed with what he did with financial bailout. And then health care was a very, very lukewarm initiative. And as far as his nuclear initiatives, they're a lot stronger. So it's like he's making progress, you know?
We're making progress. Russ, I agree with you. Yeah, I thought he was, probably one of his better issues, how he handled that situation. Now, sure, of course I can disagree with him, but as far as on the spectrum of different issues, what he did with, Ukraine and getting that a little bit better under control and the treaty with Russia, I thought, hey, that's a win, and I'll take it and run.
Yeah, really.
Okay, so, hey, an upbeat note, I like that. We're making progress on at least one issue, not just with Obama, but with some conservatives and evangelicals. Look at that. We're a ray of sunshine today. All right, Russ Wellen with Faster Times. Thank you so much for joining us. Really appreciate it.
Thanks, Cenk. You're doing great work.
Thank you.